Most of us spend our entire lives just trying to avoid debt like the plague. We're taught from day one that borrowing money is dangerous, it's a trap, and it's something we should absolutely run away from. But welcome to This Explainer, because today we're going to unravel a totally mind-bending financial paradox. We're looking at what you could call the debt alchemy, this incredible, almost magical process of taking what most people consider a heavy burden and flipping it into a massive wealth-building engine. Because here's the truth, debt itself isn't actually what makes people poor. It's how that debt is used. So today, we're going to explore exactly how the wealthy create assets using debt, while everyone else accidentally makes themselves poor.
Okay, let's dive into this. If debt is so incredibly dangerous, why do billionaires, real estate moguls, and top business owners keep borrowing money? I mean, they use it almost every single day. It sounds crazy, right? If it's a trap, why on earth are the smartest financial minds walking right into it on purpose? Well, the answer to that question might literally change the way you think about wealth forever. Because what's truly shocking here is that the exact same loan from the exact same bank can push one person into absolute bankruptcy and turn another person into a millionaire. Let's look at the debt trap that so many people fall into. Imagine you walk into a bank and sign for a $50,000 loan. Month zero, you drive off the lot in a brand new luxury sports car. It looks absolutely amazing. Fast forward to month 6, and your friends are impressed, your neighbors are turning their heads, and your social media is blowing up. But underneath the hood, that car is depreciating so incredibly fast. Now jump to year 1. The value of that car is literally disappearing right before your eyes. But that $50,000 loan? Yeah, it's still sitting right there, completely intact. You're trapped paying for the ghost of a purchase. The money is essentially gone, but the debt remains. All right, let's slow things down for a second and look at a side-by-side comparison. Think of this as the tale of two paths. Person 1 is the one we just talked about. They took that $50,000 loan and bought a rapidly depreciating luxury sports car. But look at person 2. They took the exact same $50,000, but they acquired something that actually generates income. Maybe it's a small cash-flowing business, maybe it's equipment that helps them earn more at work, or a down payment on a rental property. Every single month, that purchase produces real cash flow. For person 2, the debt stays the same, sure, but the asset keeps working for them. It's the exact same loan, but a completely different future. So, what's the actual secret here? Well, it all comes down to mindset, and specifically, the one single question you ask yourself before you sign those loan papers. Most people ask a really limiting question. Can I afford the monthly payment? And if the answer is yes, they just buy it. But wealthy people, they ask something entirely different. They ask, will this asset produce more money than the debt costs? And honestly, that single question changes the whole game. Rich people do not borrow money just to look rich. They borrow money to buy things that actively create more money. Now, to really master how to answer that question, we need to understand one of the absolute simplest yet most powerful financial rules you will ever learn. An asset is simply something that puts money into your pocket. That is it. It's really that simple. It doesn't matter how fancy it looks or how much you love it. If it is actively generating income and putting cash into your pocket on a regular basis, it's an asset. And now we flip that around to the direct contrast. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. Again, incredibly straightforward. If it costs you money to maintain, if it drops in value, if it forces a monthly payment out of you without giving you anything back financially, yep, you guessed it. It's a liability. Remember, the wealthy use debt to acquire assets. Most everyone else uses debt to acquire liabilities, which leaves them trapped making payments for decades without actually building any real wealth. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we mean. Let's look at these real-world examples right next to each other. On the asset side, think of a rental property that brings in monthly income, a thriving local business that produces reliable profit, maybe a website earning ad revenue, or even a specialized manufacturing machine helping a company scale up. These things are out there working for you every single day. On the flip side, we've got the liabilities, that brand new luxury sports car, expensive designer clothes, or literally the newest smartphone you just financed. Look, these things might give you a temporary high, for sure, but they don't produce a single dime of income. They just take money straight out of your pocket. Okay, so now that we know exactly what an asset is, we can unlock the specific concept that makes the wealthy even wealthier. I want you to imagine an income-producing asset worth $100,000. Sounds pretty great, right? But here is the secret. You don't actually need $100,000 in cash to own it. This right here is the magic of leverage. You can actually control that entire $100,000 asset with an initial investment of just $20,000. Let's do the math real quick. If you just invest your 20 grand normally and earn, say, a 10% return, you make $2,000. Not bad at all. But if you use that $20,000 as a down payment to control a $100,000 asset and that asset increases by 10%, the value rises by $10,000. Your initial investment was exactly the same, but your returns were just multiplied. And that right there is why investors absolutely love leverage. But before we all rush out to the bank to borrow money, we really need to let a vital truth sink in. Think of it this way. Leverage is like fire. Used correctly, it can build wealth. Used carelessly, it can burn everything down. This is absolutely crucial to understand. Leverage is not some magic cheat code that guarantees success. It is a tool. And like any powerful tool, it requires immense respect and serious risk management. Let's move to and see how this builds in the real world with a real estate wealth cycle. Step 1. An investor buys a $200,000 rental property, but they only put down $40,000. The bank provides the rest. Now, most people look at that and just see a huge, scary loan. But the investor? They see a huge asset. Step 2. Tenants move in. Every single month, their rent payments arrive, and a chunk of that income helps cover the mortgage. Step 3. Over time, the loan balance naturally decreases, the rental income might go up, and the property's overall value rises. Fast forward a few years, and the investor owns an asset worth significantly more, and a huge portion of it was paid for using other people's money.
And hey, it's not just real estate either. Businesses use this kind of productive debt all the time to accelerate their expansion. Imagine a local artisan bakery that's totally hit its daily production limit. The owner wants to grow, right? But they don't have the cash on hand. So they go out and take a $50,000 loan for a massive new commercial oven. Boom. Suddenly, because of that oven, their production literally doubles overnight. Sales shoot up, profits increase. That debt helped them purchase an asset that generated way more income than the cost of the loan itself. It's a total game changer.
Okay, but we've got to talk about the uncomfortable truth here, the dangerous side that nobody really likes to highlight, the hidden dangers. Look, even the wealthiest investors lose money sometimes. Why? Because property markets crash, businesses fail, economic recessions happen, and when those things happen, your debt does not just magically disappear. Remember what we said about fire? Because debt magnifies your results, both the good and the bad. Successful investors never just borrow blindly. They don't max out every single opportunity. They are constantly preparing for those worst-case scenarios. Ultimately, the biggest financial mistake you can make isn't having debt. The biggest mistake is using debt to buy things that don't create value. Wealthy people use debt to acquire assets. Those assets generate income. That income creates wealth, and ultimately, that wealth creates freedom. So the next time someone tells you that all debt is bad, I want you to remember the alchemy we explored in this explainer today. A loan is just a tool. So I leave you with this one lingering question to think about for your own financial future. Will your next loan buy an asset or a liability?